Hey guys, today I'm going to tell you 5 tips that will help you with weight loss concerning food. Because I know food is actually like the biggest hurdle that we have usually with losing weight. Your weight loss is 80% diet and 20% exercise. So if you can get your food down, then you've got a good shot at being successful in weight loss, even if you can't drag yourself to the gym or outside to walk or whatever. So anyway, so here's 5 tips that will help with weight loss. And number 1 is drinking water. And I like say this all the time, but it is the most important thing because our bodies do run off of water. They're 60% composed of 60% water. Studies have shown that if you drink a bottle of water like 30 minutes before you eat a meal, then the dieters that they were doing the study on actually lost 44% more weight than the dieters that were not drinking a bottle of water 30 minutes prior to eating. And that's because when you drink water, it kind of fills your stomach up, so you don't feel like you're as hungry as you think that you are on an empty stomach. And really, we usually eat too much, and that's a big part of weight gain. So that will help you with cutting cravings and stuff. It also boosts your metabolism. So, Asher. It also helps boost your metabolism. I think it was 3 to 11%. That was supposed to say that if you drink water every 1.5 hours, then it boosts your metabolism by 3 to 11%, but somebody was being very distracting, and so I lost my train of thought. Anyways, there's lots of great weight loss benefits to drinking water. Not to mention it gives you energy, and if you have more energy, then you're more likely to be moving and on the go and get in those workouts, feel like doing a workout, so drink your water. Tip number 2, cut out sugary foods. So this would be like your processed foods. Anything that has high fructose corn syrup in it, so read your packaging labels. Cereals, most of those have lots of sugar in them, and sometimes even the ones that claim to be like whole grain cereals, so you really want to make sure that you read the ingredient labels on those and make sure that there is not high fructose corn syrup in it, and also that the ingredients are kind of lower in number, because the more ingredients you have in something, the more processed it is, and therefore the harder it is to digest. Other examples would just be, well, anything with white sugar, your sugary drinks. So like your Cokes, sweet tea, orange juice even, your juices, a lot of that has added sugar in it. A good way to replace those things would be to either drink coffee and just don't load it down with cream and sugar. There's a lot of people that drink that, like if they're hooked on like sodas, then a good replacement for that would be like the sparkling waters that still have that fizziness to them. So maybe if that's what it is that you're kind of wanting in a drink, then that still has that'll still satisfy you in that way. Fruits. Fruits are okay because they are not processed sugars. They're natural sugars, and they actually have nutrients in them. So you don't really want to avoid fruits. You don't want to go overboard with fruits, but you don't want to avoid them either. Some fruits you might avoid a little bit more, just like bananas or whatever, but that's just because they're a little bit more carby. And but they're not bad for you. Balance is the key there. But if it's something that's kind of a whole food, and fruit is a whole food, then you're okay with it. Tip number 3, choose your carbs wisely. So carbs are not bad, contrary to popular belief. You actually need carbs. Your intake of carbs should be around 60%, 45 to 65% of your daily calories should be carbs. But it is the carbs that you choose that will differentiate between whether you lose weight or whether you gain weight. So choose things that are whole, like whole grains, and then be really careful of packages that say whole grain that may not actually be whole grain. That's where your ingredient list comes into play again. It's always really, really good to check those ingredient lists because that's what's actually going to tell you what you're really getting in a product. Oats, that's a good carb. Rice, brown rice, beans, nuts, vegetables, all the vegetables, fruit, sweet potatoes, all of those are good healthy carbs that you can eat that are not going to add inches to your waistline. Now, Refined carbs will spike your insulin, which will lead to food cravings and hunger cravings. Hunger pains and food cravings, which will increase your food intake. So if possible, choose foods with high fiber. That will actually make you feel full longer, not to mention help with digestion. So carbs, like I said, are not bad. Just choose wisely the carbs that you eat. Now, some people function better with less carbs. Some people do good with less carbs, and that's great. Some people do better with higher carb. There's really not just one fix to everybody. That's why like some of these low carb diets are really popular right now, because you will lose weight really fast. Just be really careful with those, because whenever you start adding carbs back, then it'll be really easy to increase your weight. And it kind of backfires if you're not careful. So just be really careful with that, and make sure whenever you get back on carbs, because it's very hard to sustain a no carb diet for the rest of your life, that you do it carefully and make sure that you know what you're doing, and get somebody to help you if you need help with that on how to add it back just little by little. So, because it does work, you can do it that way, you just got to do it the right way. Tip number 4, eat more protein. So it's sometimes hard to get protein in, and also a lot of us, especially women, sort of avoid protein sometimes, thinking that it's kind of an unnecessary thing to be eating. When in reality, protein actually helps boost your metabolism. It leaves you feeling full for a longer time. Protein helps build your muscle. It helps repair muscle. There's just so many great benefits to protein, and I will say that whenever I started eating more protein, because I used to eat very low protein, when I started eating more protein, that is when I started noticing weight loss. I had also kind of cut my carbs a little bit, but I've added carbs back, and with the mix of increased protein and carbs added back, I have probably never seen such great results ever. So I haven't. So it's good to be really balanced. Get your protein, carbs, and fat. Just make sure they're all good, whole sources. If you're having a hard time getting your protein in, protein shakes are a great source of protein. It's always good to go natural, so if you can get chicken in, eggs, lean beef, turkey, those are all great natural sources of protein. But when you have a hard time getting that in, or you just need some extra protein, protein shakes are a great go-to. And they're also quick for the morning if you're on the go, need to go to work, and don't have time to make breakfast. That's always definitely an option. And tip number 5, eat smaller meals all throughout the day. So goal is 5 to 6 small meals during the day. And this keeps you from overeating, because then you never get like super hungry. And it keeps you satisfied all the way through the day. It keeps your metabolism going. It actually boosts your metabolism, because your metabolism has to keep working in order to digest the food. A good rule of thumb, or whatever, something to go by, is eat a bigger meal for breakfast, then a snack, and then for lunch eat a smaller meal than you ate for breakfast, but still a little bit bigger than what your snack was. Then eat another snack between lunch and dinner, and then dinner should probably be kind of snacky. Now, just like everything, no one way works for everybody. So maybe if that's not something that's possible for you, then do it backwards, because it's really not necessarily about what time of the day that you eat. Well, everybody's bodies work differently. So some people actually might really notice that a weight loss more if they eat less in the evening. But truly, really, it's just about the calories that you get in during the day or at the end of the week or whatever. So whatever works for you. Maybe it works better if you eat smaller meals in the morning and then you eat your one big meal at night. Actually, it might be better because of the whole digesting during your sleep. If you can't eat the big meal in the morning, then maybe just eat kind of more equal meals throughout the day, and don't eat something huge before you go to bed, but instead just eat something kind of more moderate. It helps to not have a whole lot of food on your stomach when you're sleeping, for your stomach to digest while you're just laying there. And if you're having a hard time getting those meals in, or your snacks in, or whatever, or just finding time period, once again, it's always good to have natural sources of food. Natural is always better than something processed or something that's not completely real. But protein shakes are really good for you. They are really good supplementers for you. But maybe a better option than doing a protein shake, if you would like to go all natural, would be to have some chicken on hand, have some peanut butter and apples on hand. Things like that are really good little snacks, and they're really good for if you've gone like 3 hours and haven't eaten anything, just a little go-to. So anyways, I hope those things have helped you. I hope that if they haven't, then I don't know. Anyway, I hope that hopefully those 5 tips help. They should help if you follow them. So that was my 5 tips for the day. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and God bless.